Bianca here. So the next video I want to talk about is we know our value. So there's two parts of values. One, knowing your values, like what makes you think the way you do and what's important to you. The other thing is actually knowing your value, knowing how important you are, because so many of my clients, they come at the bottom of the pile, sort of after kids, husband, house, work, parents. Actually, when I say about you, whereabouts, if you had to give yourself post-it notes, where do you fit in? And actually, I very rarely say this, it's coaching 101, do not do this, but I'm going to tell you something. You are the most important, this is important, you are the most important person in your life, because all the people who depend on you aren't going to be able to be as what they are without you being happy, healthy and successful in your life. And it's about saying, okay, I know I'm valuable, I know I'm important, and I kind of put myself in the mix. I'm okay putting my needs in there. Do you know what I mean? Because so often we're like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this for other people. It's actually about saying, I've got to do this for me. I want to do this for me because I know how important I am. And if I burn out, if I stress out, if I kick off, if I'm in bed because I'm bloody knackered all day, or I'm constantly getting cold, or I'm constantly exhausted, that has a knock-on effect. So actually, I put myself not in an arrogant, I'm the most important, the best person in the world way. I recognize my value. And I appreciate my value, and I appreciate the contribution that I make to other people's lives, whether it's in a workplace or a professional setting, or if it's in a home, personal setting. I am important, and I want to invest in myself. And the other part is values. What makes you who you are? Because when we understand our values, it makes it easier to understand other people's, where they're coming from, and also, that sense of, I do not get why he's doing that. I do not get why they've asked me to do that. Don't they understand? They should, blah, blah, blah. Those comments, when you're like, I don't get them. They have a completely different value set, okay? The way they see the world and what's important to them is very different to you. And you go, okay, well, that makes sense. For me, like compassion and love and sharing is really important. Other people, like ambition and drive and, conflict, maybe, creating that sort of challenging environment through conflict is important to them. That's their values. Now, does it mean I'm right and he's wrong, or she's right and I'm wrong? No, it just means we're different. There's no right and wrong, good or bad in the way people see the world. It's different, okay? Well, there is sometimes some bad people who are incredibly selfish and take and aren't very nice to people. Yeah, no, it's not nice to be around. And would we want our children to be like that? No, we wouldn't. But it doesn't mean that it's going to help us understand the world better. And this is what it's about. So I want you to go away. I've attached a value sheet. So this really is a really cool action task. Go, yeah, that makes sense why I see it. And if you can, if your husband's that way inclined, get him to do it, or wife or partner, whoever it is, get them to do it. And it makes you understand that, when you're like, oh God, they're so annoying, why don't they just? Okay, it makes perfect sense because that's their value system. Values are like your tree. You are a tree. Value system are your trunk, okay? Your life experiences, you go with the flow, you have different experiences, different perspectives. That's your branches, you kind of change and flow. But your values generally stay the same your whole life. And they're usually adopted from early influences, but a number will be through your personal experience about what's important to you. So when you're doing the sheet, don't overthink it. A little part, every single what value is important. There's no way of saying, I'm not, grateful, or I'm not whatever. No, you are. We all have aspects of every single value in us. But some of them resonate, I use that word a lot, resonate within us. They're what we think's important to us. And some of them sort of shout out louder. So try not to overthink it. Try and just think, you know what, yeah, that one, and try and connect to the ones that stand out brightest. And then you can combine them into 5, no more than 5. You can do less, but no more than 5. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with hundreds of values and you lose clarity. So keep it on 5. Keep grouping them, and then come back and tell me what your values are. I'm going to share with you mine, but sometimes I do it just to check, because I think, oh, have my values changed now I've become a mum, now I'm an adoptive mum, now, you know, I don't know, do my values change if my father dies? You know, do life experiences change who you are and the way you feel things? And I've done it repetitively over the years, and they always pretty much come out what they are. Understand that different values in my life are more important or less important. Sometimes things, I don't know, when my children are ill, my love and compassion value stands out stronger. At other times when I've got a project that needs to be completed, my sort of ambition, drive, values shouts louder, but they're always just there. If you have any questions, please let me know.